Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is How to App on iOS, and my name is Jade. And we're running late today, but all shall be explained. Most of you will be catching this on the replay, so welcome aboard. Okay. So firstly, I do apologise for being late today. These things happen when you suffer from chronic illness. I was up most of the night very sick with some very heavy bleeding and stuff going on. I tried to set an alarm clock to get up. Unfortunately, 3 of them didn't wake me up. So these things happen, unfortunately. That is life. But we're going to go ahead anyway. We're going to get straight into it today. You probably noticed the chat isn't happening because I'm late and I wouldn't expect people to have to wait around for an hour and a half. So what are we going to do today? We are going to have a little look around at my studio. Just a quick tour. We are also going to have a look at my vocal booth that I built. So let's get straight into that. Let's delve straight into that. See if I can actually, hopefully, it doesn't look like it. Let's give Apple Photos some time to get its crap together. I can check on my phone. We can go back to that. So basically what I'm going to show you is how I built my vocal booth. I really should have got my shit together with this. It still hasn't appeared. What is the deal with iCloud? iCloud should have had these photos already showing because I set them up last night to appear as a photo album, but that's another story. So we can always come back to that. So let's have a look at my studio, shall we? Great start. I'm going to flick cams now. See if we can do this. So just be aware that because I'm still waiting for some gear to arrive, one of my cameras is running a little slow for this particular session. But here's one camera here. You can see there's I'm at the top. So there's a little bit of a delay. So I'm going to try and compensate for that. Before we do that, what I'm going to need to do first is bring up GarageBand. And we're going to open this song here, which has a few instruments selected. So I'm going to need to change microphones. So now that we have this organized, I'm going to show you what's happening. Okie doke. So we've got GarageBand set and we've got sound. So I'm going to flick to another microphone. There we go. Just find the right camera. So I've got this Shure mic that I'm going to be using today. I do hope it's all going to work okay. Let's turn down the volume and see if we can get this happening. There we go. We want sound monitoring on. Okay, so we have moved now to my SM58. As you can see, so I can move around my room and show you what we're doing. So we're running that through GarageBand. Now we can go back to this extra cam here so you can see what's happening. Now I'll just take a little bit of a vape. Okay. So we're going to have a little look around at my studio. Just as I said, remember the lag. So we do have a few issues here. So I'm starting off over here. So I've got a green screen clearly behind me, which is giving me this effect up here on my cam that I'm waving to you on. Over here I've got my guitars. Let's see if I can get up and move around without too many problems and cables going everywhere. So here are my guitars. There's what? 1, 2, got my 7-string LTD. I've got this really odd shaped acoustic down here, which is semi-acoustic. I've got a artist full-size bass. I've got an acoustic bass sitting there as well, and 2 Ibanez acoustic guitars. So that's plus over here behind my chair, doing so well today, there is a LTD 6-string guitar hiding over there. Moving away from my guitars, over here in the corner, I have my M Audio, what is it, code 49. So nice big keyboard. Down here on my table is my mixing desk, which I use for this stream mostly. There is my MSI computer. Let's sit back down so I don't look like a fool. I always look like a fool. So that's what I use for streaming. As you can see, I've got OBS running. Now I'll take you for a trip under my computer, where I have a full amplifier and speaker system under here, which I use for listening to mixes on a different sounding stereo with an amp. And down here, bad cable management, but you'll see there is a 2 terabyte hard drive in the back there, and a switchable hard drive there in the front, which there are a number of hard drives here I interchange. These are all connected to a powered USB, and that runs directly into my laptop over here. So that is my setup for my laptop pretty much. This mixing desk and my laptop. Then we're going to go right to the back of my desk here. I'm trying to move this camera nice and slowly, so even though there's lag. Right at the back here, we have a powered USB hub, another 7 powered USB hub. That connects into another USB hub, which is USB-C, which you can see has memory sticks. It has a VGA monitor plugged into it, Ethernet, a whole bunch of things. It also has the HDMI cable that runs out from my iPad into my computer here. And there's my iPad Pro on its Magic Keyboard. I have a spare mouse here which is hooked up to my laptop. And over in the back there's my camera. I have an iPad mini here. This has my theme music running for the show, which goes directly into the desk on, what's that, channel 7 and 8. Underneath the iPad is a Steinberg UR22. And over on this side is my PreSonus. It was the first audio interface I had. So it's pretty old and beaten up. I've had it for like 3 years now. That is a spare audio interface. Yes, I am left-handed. So here is my new TC Helicon vocal effects unit. I'm going to be showing a little bit later this week. So up the top there are 2 M Audio BX5 monitors, I do believe they are. Right here we have my main microphone. So this is my Rode NT1, which is hooked up to an arm from my desk. There is my electronic drum kit next to that, and as I said, my keyboard. And over here is my vocal booth, which I built myself. So let's have a look in there, shall we? So let's just scoot this camera back here for a minute, and we shall have a look inside. Let's see. Oh man, you know, when Apple products work, they work, and I'm normally really impressed by it, but my photos aren't showing for this. So let's try this instead. Let's try this. This will be interesting. So I'm going to run through just quickly. Where are we? And this probably won't work either. because that's technology, and yeah. And what do you know? It's not going to work. Cool. So we're just going to have a look at the vocal booth. Let's have a quick look inside. Let me just make sure everything's on in there. And it looks like it is. So inside my vocal booth, which I made using PVC pipes. So if you have a look from the outside, you can see it's fairly big. It takes up a lot of room in my studio, in my bedroom pretty much. It's a PVC pipe frame with some packing blankets all the way around it as my as soundproofing. So let's have a look inside. When you go inside, there is a light up in the top corner. There is a microphone in here. Currently that is a Steinberg microphone. And I have an old monitor that is attached to one of those USB hubs that is currently showing my iPad screen. So what we'll do is we'll pop this. There's also a keyboard and a mouse. So while I'm in here, I can actually, let's go all the way in and put the mic stand, put this camera stand on the bench. Scintillating. This isn't going exactly how I had it planned, clearly. Let's rise up this camera. I know you're getting a horrible view there. Let's spin the camera around. Okay, so here I am inside my vocal booth. Now let's see if it makes any difference when I close. And it probably isn't going to. But in here, it's... Damn, you definitely can hear. That's a lot deadened. So I've got a microphone, I've got my monitor and a mouse that's connected to my iPad that I can control what I'm recording in this very booth. So it's pretty cool. I could have done it a completely different way, but thought using an old monitor that I already had sitting around would do the job. As you can see, this is a PVC construction with a whole lot of joins and an open floor. It cost me $200 to make, so pretty inexpensive, and it does the job really well. It's definitely not a it's definitely not a soundproofing solution. That's the thing. So I wouldn't recommend it for that. Let's get out of this screen because I think I've shown. I'll just pop this back on its. Wow, we're having a great day today. But you get those days. That's the thing. Sometimes these days happen and you've just got to roll with them because mistakes happen, right? And it's the mistakes that help you improve the next time. And that's the motto of this show. To just fight through it. I mean, 3 hours ago, I was laying in my bed with chronic bleeding from my nose and mouth for about, 2 hours. I couldn't stop it at all, so it was very frustrating. And I ended up having to try and get some form of sleep, and here we are. So that is my setup. It doesn't give you a fantastic view because of the rushing around today, but we will look at it a bit closer once the rest of my camera gear arrives. So sitting here with the beauty of this all is that at a touch I can now just flick back to my main microphone. I can now flick over to my drum kit here, and I'm permanently set up. This is the beautiful thing. So if I just aim this camera over a little bit towards my drums, let it catch up, you can see I can just grab some sticks so it's permanently set up, and all I did there was just change tracks on GarageBand. So if I scroll up here on GarageBand and change tracks to my synth, spin my camera around, because there's my keyboard. That's permanently set up to go as well. As with my guitar, let's flick over. So I've got another track there. It's probably set. Let's have a look, because I've got a guitar just behind me. So there you go. That's all I did was turn up the volume, as you can see, for that guitar, and there's already distortion that's already set on that pedal, which is pretty cool. So that is my setup in about 10 minutes. So I don't use Mac or anything like that. Everything's controlled via my iPad Pro, because they virtually are a MacBook Pro these days, regardless of what any PC over glass will tell you. So we can get off this screen now. I'm surprised I even went ahead with all that stuff today, because for the lateness of the show and being a little bit unprepared due to health. But let's get into today's app. And I do thank the people who have arrived. So I see Daryl, Pete, Johns, Tom, thanks for being here late. Shit happens at the end of the day. I can't really do much about what went down today. So what are we going to do now? We are going to have a look at an app which I decided to only do a short, show the studio first today and do a short little review of this app for a specific reason. So let's do a search for it. It is called Vocalive. And we'll grab this one. As you can see, a few of them come up. So they've got one for iPad, they've got one for iPhone. I don't know how in this day and age these two apps are still separate and have not become something universal. And I'll put this out there straight off the gap. I don't really like IK Multimedia products. I think they capitalize on the Lightning port with their hardware. So I think that's, they sell single-use products like single-use mic, single-use, guitar plugins. I think they're too focused on that kind of thing. That's my opinion, and it just is what it is. I think their apps are super over expensive for the crap that you get. But we're going to have a look at Vocalive today, because I originally got the free version. So it's this Vocalive CS for iPad. That's the one that I have here that you can see I can open. And the other one down here is $38.99 Australia. The reason I got the free one was I knew I could just pay for the sound effects that I want and not the microphones and the added bullshit that they put on top. So that's what I use. So it is free, but I think back then when I paid for just the vocals, which was quite a few years ago, it was around probably $25 back then. The dollar's changed a lot since then. So the way I'm going to have to use this, again, this is a pretty old app. It hasn't had an update for 2 years. So like with a lot of IK Multimedia stuff, they really don't give two shits about their apps once they come out. There's not a lot of updates. You just see price drops and then, but it's pretty stingy, for the updates, that they don't really do anything. So I can't really recommend it on that, but I'm just going to go through some of the effects on this app. And why I just said all that then is the way you have to open this in GarageBand is dog's balls. It's, again, I have to use Audio Bus. So let's do that now. I'm going to grab an input here, and we're going to use input 2 on my Steinberg. I'm going to select Vocalive here as the effect in the middle. So we'll open that up. Yeah. And then I'm going to select GarageBand as the output. And we should be able to open that up now. Here we are back in the vocals. Now if I go back to this microphone, we should have some effects happening. So this is clearly now running in the background. The problem is with it is that I have to control it through this little section here on the side. Let's have a look. Go full screen for this. So here it is. Let's turn off this reverb and delay and the doubler. So this is what you get with this app. It's pretty basic kind of stuff. You get a bunch of sections here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections: morphing, lead, harmony, FX, and a stream. I've got my own category that I've added there up the top. You get a selection of pedals, so let's have a look at those. You've got 2 compressors. This is when you pay for the pedals. You've got a delay pedal, a reverb, 2 chorus and a phaser. You've got a doubler, a pitch correction, a morph, and let me see, and a choir and a parametric EQ, and an envelope filter. Yeah, that's what I thought too, Daryl, because I tried to open it yesterday and was having heaps of trouble with it for some reason. It was just spinning, and then it said it couldn't access it. So it could be something to do with iOS 13 and this app not being updated. But trust me, I did try that yesterday and run through all this beforehand, but couldn't get it to work. So, or maybe it's, and sometimes these updates or these issues happen with like not many iPads. So I was shocked that I couldn't do it that way because I used to, and that's why I am doing it this way today. So you've got let's go through some of the effects just quickly. Let's throw out a cavern. And, you know, this reminds me of an ex-girlfriend. We've got an extreme chorus here, so with a compression and a chorus and reverb. Whoa, now this is doing my head in because I'm not feeling well anyway and wearing headphones. So this is yeah. We've got an extreme phaser sitting here. These are pretty full-on effects that most people aren't going to use. A nasty choir. Yo, I'm gonna kill you, Ashley. Wow, pretty Evil Dead sounding there. We've got a nasty choir. Never-ending story. And what is this? It's supposed to be a robot, but it doesn't sound like one. It's just a pitch correction. Strong.
Let's listen to the fat frog. Quit it.
You probably wouldn't even use. These are, these effects ones and the extreme one. You're not gonna find. You can change your choir settings to a whole bunch of thirds, fifths, a whole lot of settings within there. Well, you will find. Let's look at some harmonies. We'll chuck on a chromatic for all of these and get rid of the delay. Well, I'm finding, yeah. Well, I'm finding. Let's go to a chromatic. Well, I'm finding, yeah. Everything is gonna be alright. So again, these are presets. Let's pull off that reverb and see what this choir's got to do. Well, I need your love every day. It's gonna be okay. We got a third. World I'm finding those empty drain my soul. Yeah, I don't know why I'm drowning. As you can see, it still is a pretty damn cool app. So, I mean, I've got my beefs with it, and that's just me. You have some things down. Where did I see these? So you've got some really cool morphing ones as well down the bottom. You've got a half tone down. So, well, which is weird. Half tone up. Well, I'm finding
Performance.
You've got really stupid voices that you're really not going to use for anything, I don't think. Or like this. Maybe if you want to do... See that? That's a thing with audio share, and
that happens on your iPad with audio share. That is a bug that still hasn't been addressed, that every now and again it maxes out and makes a crazy noise. So I'm glad that happened during this. Let's see what this upper formant could be used for. Maybe the Crazy Frog song.
ding 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 ding.
Clearly, I'm guessing that's all it could be used for. You can see I've got a few things set here that I've used for recording, just a basic double. I've got a choir, which was for some death metal stuff. Well, I will find somewhere to hide. Well, it's gonna be fine. I've got a doubler here, which I was using for one of my songs on my album. There's another one here. These are awesome presets. I did a cover with this song. Well, I find mine. So look, there's a look at all of the pedals that you get and some presets that you get with this app. I was going to go into perhaps a quick song. Can I do that? We got time. Why not? I'm running late. What else could go wrong? Just go for it. I'm going to close down GarageBand. You know what? Before I do that, though, let's close down. Let's close down all of these. I'm going to try and open GarageBand and see if I can open up this track and do what we were talking about with Daryl in the chat there and see if we can add it as an effect. And there it is. Oh, man. Let's see if it does work now. See, because this is what happened. I actually got it to work, but for some reason, it wasn't showing up. Built-in mic, we want, hey, 1, 2. Let's see if it is. So that should already be coming through on GarageBand, but it's not. This was the problem I was having. Good. 1, 2. And it's not coming through. I don't understand why that is happening. This was the issue I was actually having with it yesterday, because we've got monitoring on. We're on the right track. We should be able to record it. It's appearing. There's nothing else that's running in the background that's audio. I cannot work that out. It should be working through here, even in options. I'm just getting nothing coming through as a level. So, I mean, it's clearly should be working, but it's not. So, all right, we'll do that. We'll do that. GarageBand. Let's get rid of that. Oh, hey, yeah. So let's try a new track. 1, 2, 2. Once again, not happening. We are on the right input 2. And there we go. So it's not working at all. For some reason, I just can't get it to connect to GarageBand because I'm holding my mic and it's not coming through. It must be some bug to do with my iPad Pro. Who knows? But it should. Everything else works perfectly fine except for this. So let's just skip that for now. What I will do is we'll get rid of that. I'll open Audio Bus again just to make sure that it's going to work this time for what I'm about to do. Yeah, look, iOS is an odd thing. Sometimes you can have people who are writing in the GarageBand users group saying, I've got this problem with this app and my iPad and it's not working at all. And for everybody else it works. And it's just this absolutely minute number of iPads. And it could be to do with, the over-the-air updates. It could be some kind of junk that's left around from the over-air updates, even though Apple tell you to your face in the store that over-air updates always work perfect now. They're not like they used to be in the old days, which is bullshit because shit goes wrong. It just always does. That is just life. Apple can't be perfect all the time, although they do try to come off like everything just works all the time. So what I'm going to do now, though, is just use the method I was using. It's virtually the same thing anyway. And I'm going to open Audio Pro and just try singing with it. So I do have a project that should automatically open here. Let's hope. Or knowing technology, it looks like it's not doing anything. It's probably going to crash. That wouldn't surprise me. It has just been... I don't know what it is with Mondays in this show. I'll be completely honest, folks. Me and Mondays on this show are just always absolutely shite. And look at this. See? Not even loading. The project's just frozen. We'll try that again. Let's try it again. Try it again. Audio Pro. Try again. Open up that project. And there it is. Did it open? Is it still opening? Nice one. It didn't even open it. Load. We want... there you go. It totally screwed my project. So let's try opening this one. Good times, good times. So this is a project that I'm working on with Steve Mara. So let's go to around, what are we, track 43. Okay, Okay. So we do have voice coming through here, so that's a good thing. Okay, but is it connected through here? It's not. Now it should be. There we go. So I should be able to choose audio effect from audio bus. Sweet. So what have I got there as a vocal? It's probably a doubler. That'll do. No, let's go for just one. So we'll just go for this just for now. I'll turn down my other microphone. And here we are in Audio Pro. Let's have a listen to this song. And let's just go for it. I think I know the lyrics. So let's hit record. Hopefully we can have sound. Jade, always here. Always hears like the sunlight into night to remind us that winter is coming and the snow will finally. Can you feel it? Can you feel it melting on your face? The ice is cold blowing in from another space. Can you feel it? Can you feel it freezing everything? The ice is coming and the winter is coming. Seasons changing, hibernation, out of darkness into night. Winter is coming. Seasons changing. Hibernation, out of darkness into. A nice bit of weird sound there. So, did any of that come through? Let's have a listen. Always we had some peaks. Like the sunlight into night to remind us that winter is coming and the snow will finally. Can you feel it? Can you feel it melting on your face? The ice is cold blowing in from another space. Can you feel it? Can you feel it freezing everything? The ice is going. Okay, so there was that. Let's maybe add a what do we got? A harmony. Can you feel it? Can you feel it melting on your face? The icy cold blowing in from another space. Let's try doing that for the last thing of the day. Let's delete this and try and record again. Like the sun shines into night to remind us that winter is coming and the snow will finally. Can you feel it? Can you feel it melting on your face? The icy cold blowing in from another space. Can you feel it? Can you feel it melting everything? The snow is falling and the winter is coming. Seasons changing, hibernation. I love that sound that I'm getting from Audio Pro there. Like the sun shines into night to remind. Anyway, that is that. I've still got this crazy effect on, so let's hoot scoot to boot all of that. Bye. There we go. So I've got my other microphone back. Now, this was an incredibly horrible show today, very rushed, very last minute because I woke up extremely late. Such is life. But tomorrow will be a different day, and we have a few really cool apps to look at over the next couple of days, which will be Vocal Soloist, which will also be TC Helicon's app as well, and an app called Harmonizer, which you can see along the top here. So we're looking at these three apps across the top. And I'll be giving away some apps as well. I'll be giving away some copies of Vocal Soloist and Harmonizer this week. So stay tuned for that. Tomorrow will be more focused, more together, and we will have a more serious good time. So thank you for coming along late and bearing with the technical issues and everything running late. I could have just let the show go, but the show must go on, and that is part of making mistakes and stuffing up. So they're not always perfect, and this one is one of those. So you'll now see on your screen the subscribe button. If you would like to subscribe, please do so. You can do so there. You can follow me on Facebook. My Patreon will be coming within the next week and a half. And that is that. And there's also a playlist that will be appearing on your screen right now. So either click the subscribe button or watch a previous show. And I will see you all tomorrow morning. So until then, stay gangster, stay musical, and stay cool. And adios, amigos. Bye now.